Okay. Can you guys? Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Okay. I just had to switch in my good microphone. Okay, good. You got a. Oh, good. That's great. Okay. Hey, Geezer, Florida Pier. How are you? Tyler Lee. Hey, Bruce. Truth Spears. Eric. Joseph. Redskins Pride. How the Redskins doing this year? Abdul. How you doing, man? Lino. Uh, Seth Morley. That name sounds familiar. Chris, how you doing? Let's see. Who's all? Hey, Carlos, how you doing, man? Oh, from Panama. Uh, Baronock FC. I hope Barnock FC. Sorry about. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Hey, Clyde, how are you? You just said you have all day, Tyler. Okay. Hey, Rich buddy. Um, Today, let me tell you what set me off. Okay, so hey, Crappy, how's it going, man? Wim, Pedro, let's see. Okay, um, let me tell you what I ran into, and it just I don't know, it burned me up. I I got this thing and got an email with an advertisement that I later put up on the High Horology Lounge. Okay, wristwatch check. Okay, I've got on my FP Jorn Chronometsu ring. All right. So I keep my Speedy Pro, High Speedy Pro. Oh, you got your Hebdo on. Hey, man, that is great. Love that watch. Um, okay, doke. So let me go back to what I was talking about. How come this got me going? And then I some other things happened. Okay, so I get this email from this guy, and it's advertising a Chopard 18 karat rose gold Mille Miglia 2014 race edition chronograph, limited edition, yada yada yada. And now here's the description of the movement that came with it. By the way, the retail on this was 19,100. The offer was 8,750. This is what it said: movement with a 42-hour power reserve and a stop second function. This self-winding mechanical chronograph movement, a COSC certified chronometer, ticks at a frequency of 28,800 oscillations per hour. Actually, it's semi oscillations per hour, 4 hertz. It has a central hour, minute, and second display, and also shows the date with the precision and elegance that characteristic Chopard. Okay. Well, so I did a little digging. It didn't take much. Found the watch. I went to Watchbase, and it turns out that it's a ETA 2892A2 with all of that big buildup for, wow, this is what you're getting for 8,000 something something dollars. I thought, come on, man. You know, they they're how they do that as though that we are as dumb as a box of rocks. I don't know. I mean, we know that. We look things up. We're not dummies, especially this special list that they sent out. Now, during the collection review that actually is for tomorrow, I discovered some stuff. By the way, too, I'm running out of collection reviews. So if you want your watch collection reviewed, send it to me. Okay, there's a little video I did on that. So I would really like to have it because I'm running out. And if I run out, I run out. Okay. Hey, Mark. So anyway, I thought, well, and I found this Cartier that I really like, and that this guy had. It turned out to be cool in ways that were great. All right, so I like that a lot. And I also happen to like ETAs, especially and again, when you talk about ETAs, you're really talking about something other than an ETA. It's a Valju, or it's a Unitas, or it's a Peso. One of those. It's something else. But anyway, um, and the thing is, I really don't have anything against them at all. But I don't like it when we get lied to. Well, we're watch collectors. We spend a fortune on these stupid watches, and somebody who's doing that now, a certain attorney told me, "Don't tell me they're lying. Don't call them liars." But that is deception. Deception is okay, but can't call them liars. Okay, so they're deceptors, but they're not even very smart deceptors because unless you're a dumb watch collector, and for the amount of money you spend, you better not be. I mean, and by dumb, I mean you say, well, I'll just get this, and I don't care what's in it because it's pretty. I've done that, so I know. So anyway, so let's. Oh, hey, and that's something. How you doing, man? Finally got the live stream. Okay, so we got this situation. All right, now, all right, okay, so this guy is, what is the term, this greasy character, all right, this weasel. So, and I watch, so I thought, well, listen, this guy is, maybe it's him, all right, and it's not the watch business as a whole. So I went to Chrono 24, and again, I'm sticking with Cartier here. And so I thought, well, I'll take a look at the Balloon Blue. And the Balloon Blue is sort of a cool looking watch. And it comes in all different, you never know what you're going to get. It's like Forrest Gump's box of candy. And they have cords, they've got God knows what, and then plus they have ones that are manufactured by Cartier. So, so I go looking for this, seeing what's inside this guy's Balloon Blue Cartier. He's trying to sell the thing, and I forgot what the price was, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. And so it says for the type of movement, and then when I get to the details of it, it says 049. Well, 049 is okay. Well, so it's hey Mooney, what's an 049? Well, 049 is a code that is used by Cartier to indicate an ETA 2892A2. It's the same one that was in that Chopard. It's one of the most popular ETA movements out there. It's it's not that bad of a movement, and especially their top ones have a COSC. Okay, and then the feedback I get, well, these guys are good. ETA makes good movement. I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying they make inexpensive movements, and so we shouldn't be paying for something much higher than that. This has been my complaint all the time. Plus the fact I just don't like being lied to here as deceived, as in deception. Okay, so here I've got this one guy who's been selling watches for a long time. Then I run into the same thing with a dealer on Chrono 24. Okay, so I'm going to go to the manufacturer. So I went to the Cartier website where they have their watches. Now, here is their description. This is the guy's Balloon Blue, 42 millimeter. They have them for different sizes. I mean, for both men and women. Okay, so this is what they say. Balloon Blue de Cartier. Hey, that sounds cool. I don't remember the de Cartier added before. It says watch 42 millimeter mechanical movement with automatic winding, steel case, fluted crown, decorated with a synthetic spinal carbotone. Silver guilloche dial, Roman numerals, blue steel sword-shaped hands, sapphire crystal alligator skin strap with double adjustable folding steel buckle, calendar aperture at 3 o'clock, case dimensions, yada, 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 water resistance, 3 bar, etc., $6,000. Okay. Well, it's got an automatic, it's got a mechanical movement, and it's automatic. That's all I know about it. I have no idea other than that. Well, little digging, and it turns out it's our friend, the 2892A2 again. All right. So now here, you're not lying. I mean, if somebody were taken to court over this, I'm suing you because you lied to me, they wouldn't get the first base because they never said it was in-house or anything like that. Now, but this is a way that we can sort of get around their deception. Now, another watch they have is called a Calibre de Cartier watch, and they have different kinds of them. And the one I got was sort of their most generic version of it, called Calibre de Cartier 38mm watch, manufacturer self-winding mechanical movement. Okay, now there is a key term there where it says manufacturer, which means that we did it at Cartier, and then it's Calibre 1904-PSMC. All right, so there they give you the caliber number, they give you all of the information and everything else you need. And so, and if you go to WatchBase and you look it up, sure enough, you find out, hey, this was made by Cartier. In fact, it was made by someone extremely good at Cartier who designed it. All right, hey Hans, how you doing? Mooney, beauty of scent, welcome. Anyway, we're talking about forms of deception. In other words, these guys are lying through their teeth in the sense that they're saying, hey, buy this watch, but we're not going to tell you exactly what's in it. Okay, so, all right, so now some brands, this, for example, the FP Journe. FP Journe is not going to put somebody else's movement in his watches. Too arrogant. The guy would he would die before he did that. Hey Kwani, how you doing, man? I missed you there. So I have to worry about that. Rolex, the same thing with Rolex. But other brands, so many other brands and good brands have mixes. You get this, you get that. There are a group of German watches that they tell you what they're putting in it. They say, hey, this thing has got I think they use ETA 64, 98s, and 97s. And they tell you that's what it is. And they say, look what we've been to it. You see all this great engraving and all of this other good stuff. And they have a window in the back, you can see it. So, yeah, there's that. And that, I think, that is the kind of thing. I've got no problem with that. Like I said, and the prices, maybe I don't disagree with them. I mean, maybe I don't agree with them. But at least I know what I'm getting. It shouldn't be that hard. We shouldn't have to, fight like mad for that. But the other thing it tells us, you can't be a lazy watch collector and not get screwed because they keep doing it. It's not like, oh, well, it was a one-time thing and we slipped up and we're sorry. But from all the way through, all the way down to the sleaziest dealer, all the way to the manufacturer, all the way to the top, they have that. And this is why, where you have, like people who buy Rolexes, you have to worry about what's in a Rolex. You're going to get a Rolex movement, and that's, one advantage. Sort of the non-thinking man's watch. Just kidding, guys. So's my FP Journe. But on these other ones, I think that in a way it helps in this respect because it makes us pay attention. Parmigiani. That's another one. You get a Parmigiani, you know what you're going to get. You get an H. Moser, you get beautiful movement that they've done, and you learn all about it. And there's all kinds of things like that. And people say, well, it's really important to have an in-house movement. Oh boy, that's a good question. So what do you guys think? How do you guard against deception? Let's see what you got here. Okay. Uh, you might as well put made on Earth on the dial. Made on Earth. Yeah, some of them, I tell you, I'd almost rather have made on Earth than they put Swiss made. Well, gee whiz, you think there's more than one? What? There's one more than one on that. Hey, Clyde, Tyler Lee wants to buy a Bremont. Talk him out of it. Oh, Bremont. I love Bremonts. They have probably one of the best cases around, and they wrap it around an ETA. They don't make their own movements. I talked with what's his name? English, Nick English, and I said, how come you guys aren't going to make your own movement? We're going to do it. We're working on it. And this was like I did a video on it about 3 years ago or so. And so in terms of talking them out of it, I mean, if they give you an ETA price on it, yeah, and by an ETA price, I mean like around $1,000. You may get what you're paying for. But anyway, I don't want to talk anybody out of anything. What I want to talk them into is find out what's in your watch before you buy it. If you don't, you're nuts. Okay. Okay, Crappy, what's up? Loco, Oris, explicitly just, that's right. Crappy, those are a good one. I tell you, Oris, if you get an Oris with an in-house movement, you know what's in-house. And they say it, and it's a cool looking movement that Oris has on that. If they don't, they say, well, no, this is our ETA, value 7750, something like that. And that's fine. That's fine. They don't charge that much either. Okay. Bremont 75th anniversary, the Battle of Arnhem. That battle didn't go too well. they dropped in the middle of a Panzer division or something. Okay. Chris, yes, it too. However, watch made Democratic parts from Socialist Republic of Congo. That's right. We don't want to be deceived. They're two different Congos now. Was it a bridge too far? Exactly. That's exactly what it was. I think it was a watch too far. No, it was a movement too far is what it was. What do you think of folks who keep finding rooted rotors in their watches? Rooted rotors? I don't know. Andreas, how you doing, man? Most of the public don't know the difference between a quartz automatic mechanical watch, let alone the difference between an in-house and an ETA. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Like I said, there's some watches that, and there are people who aren't collectors. But if you're going to pay a lot of money for a watch, you should know what's in it. Otherwise, you're a chump. And there's no other way to put it. Okay, who's here? Hey, Ahmed, how you doing, man? Julius, you guys just show up. Okay, what is it? What is your opinion about the Kadoki 2? My opinion about the Kadoki 2 is that I wish I had enough money right this second to go buy one. Beautiful watch. Not only is that handmade and a handmade movement, the price on that thing is extremely good. In fact, I like the Kadoki 1, Ahmed. That would be, to me, that's a great buy. Okay, I believe that's, yeah. They don't, Julius, they don't care about the movement. Let me tell you something I did today. I was thinking of doing a video on divers, okay? So I thought, most of the people with divers are desk divers. Somebody who's got a submariner and they had to buy a submariner. I mean, they wanted a dive watch. They went down to the dive shop, and I thought, well, I'm going to see what these guys think about that. They take one look at that and say, probably not. Probably not the best thing to go down into Davy Jones' locker with. And the reason I see it, hi, Ryan. The reason that I know that is that I went to a place where they sell nothing but diving equipment. They have all of the stuff for scuba divers, and not one watch was like the kind of things that we call divers. To me, a diver would be a 50 fathoms, a submariner, or something like that. But I'm not a diver, so what do I know? Hi, Alexander. How you doing, man? Thank you. Um, so it's like uh, that's like there's sort of another real world out there that has nothing to do with collectors. And so when we're talking about divers, we're not talking about divers that are used for diving. We're talking about divers that look something like a diving watch. But if you go to a site that they sell diving equipment, including watches, you're not going to find. You're going to find. In fact, I don't even think you can find an automatic or a mechanical watch. At least the place I went, and I went to a number of different places looking for that. Okay, he'd buy a Cellini Prince. Clyde, that's exactly right. I'd buy it. In fact, I hope to as soon as I have a list of watches I'm going through right now. Okay, I got a 50-year C card and haven't dived since I got it. I need a dive watch. Eric, I tell you, go to one of these, just put, scuba diving equipment in a Google search, and you'll come up with, they got all kinds of these watches. Probably the closest thing is one I happen to like a lot. That's an orange Doxa. I don't know why I like that watch, but I do. And it's got an ETA in it, and they mumble about what's in their movement too. Okay, let me see. What else is going on? Kadoki, karaoke. Okay, do you remember to wind your watches since you only buy hand wind watches? Actually, what I have to remember to do is I have to remember to, if I keep a watch in a winder, um, I worry about the thing getting overwound. In fact, I had a couple. I do have a couple automatics. Both of my Parmigianis, which I love and I wear a lot, are in that. But I tell you, I have less trouble with my hand wound watches. Wind them up and set them and pet them, and you love, give it some love, and you look at the movement. This is all part of watch collection. The whole idea that you have a watch that you never have to play with, what fun is that? So I can look at this movement and say, look at that, double barrels, and therefore smoothing out the charge, rather than I got nothing to look at. There's nothing here but a brick wall. That's me though. Okay. I'm shot. I'm sorry, but it's the 75th anniversary. Who cares? And it could be the day they lost their virginity. What does that matter? It doesn't mean a thing. They come up with these things. They come up with some all the time. They're having their special Thursday celebration on Thursday, or their special Friday sale on Friday. Geez, there is. Listen, if we're real collectors, we don't worry about anything but getting the watch we want at the best price we can. Okay, I think that's what collectors ought to do. And listening to all of these special ones, and limited editions, and so forth. The only limited editions I care about are these guys who make them by hand and don't put out too many. I was talking to Rolf Lang, and I said, how many of these can you get out in a year? He said 30. Like, I can do 30. I thought, oh my God. And this is the guy that takes a hunk of metal and carves it out, and that to me is really interesting. I'll tell you something. I was reading something the other day, and it was an interview with Philippe Dufour. And the question was, it was just an innocent question. And it said, what is your favorite serially produced? No, what is your favorite? I forgot what the guy said. And Philippe Dufour said, well, my favorite serial produced watch is an A Longa pantograph. Okay, now the thing that caught me was serial produced, right? Mass produced. Okay, hey Alex, the Deceive crisis is the result of the brand producing these watches with fancy materials and polished finishes. And, you know, and people like us who love them, that's the other part of the problem. What's your favorite watch brand? Freebie souvenir? Yeah, well, you know what I've been trying to get from these guys is a pair of gloves. I, every time I talk to the guys in New York at their at the boutique there, I say, hey, you guys, you know, remember now when your next pair of gloves that you wear out, you're going to throw out and put in the recycle bin. Think of me. They sent me a box of a bunch of stuff with here it is. These this is a loop for their line sports ones. I like this a lot. I also have a wooden one by FP Yarn, which I like a lot too. Hey Andreas, how's it going, man? Okay, discontinued watches are all limited edition. You know, to some extent, all of them are limited in this regard. If I don't know if somebody wants a limited edition, that means they only make X amount on purpose. Now, usually, if a limited edition is simply some watch that they make day in and day out, and year in and year out, and they put a little fancy stuff on them to make them look special. You know, that's not a limited edition. That's a decorated one. And I'm not too interested in those. Some people love them. I get these guys say, "Look at this, you know, I got a limited edition." To me, a limited edition, like I said, is when you know a guy like Kadoki. How many handmade watches can he make? Not too many. Now, those to me are very limited, and the ones like I mentioned, 30 watches a year. Or look at the great Roger Smith. He makes 10 watches a year. You got a 15, 20-year waiting list, and you spend $100,000. I mean, you know, because they're really good. Serial produced, such as in Timex in a cereal box. Yeah. What is that? You guys, are these junior Clydes out there? Serial produced. Okay, what else are you guys doing? Strictly mathematically speaking, every watch ever made are limited. Yeah, that's right, they are. You misunderstood. It's the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Arnhem. Yeah, yeah. First, the British First Parachute Division going in there. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that battle. You got to remember, I was around during the battle. I was there. Okay, no, I understand that, but that doesn't. What you know, they can have something a special edition for it, and they're taking some regular mass-produced watch, putting something fancy on it to commemorate the 75th anniversary. You know, it was a disaster. The British, what do they call it? The Red Devils or something like that. They're really one of their top parachute brigades went in there, and you know they were in the middle of a Panzer division getting repaired. You want to watch to commemorate that? I'm kidding. Okay, let's see. Hi Hans, you're back. Just had to make myself a spinach smoothie. So a spinach smoothie. I love spinach, but a smoothie out of spinach? Okay, that's all right. Unfortunately, they dilute their own brand. Everyone, well, Hi, Fernando. What's up, man? Have you seen the new Bell and Ross Bro 5? Any thoughts? No, what is the Bro 5? Let me tell you something about Bell and Ross. I really like their watches that look like they pull them out of an airplane's instrument panel. That just, that's something. And I know the movements aren't anything to write home about. Okay, did you finish the watch with the regulator? No. Hey, let me tell you what I'm doing with that one, okay? Uh, I got two regulator movements. And oh my God, finding a dial for it is really difficult. So I thought, well, I'll make an interesting one. And about, God, must have been 30 years ago or something, I got this deck of cards in Paris, and they're all Napoleonic cards with different people in his army and his all of his girlfriends and mistresses and everything else like that. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm using the card stock. I figured the card stock would be a nice, to make a dial. And so I'm going to cut some of them out and put them as the dial face for the two I have. One of them has got like a night and day or moon phase, and then plus the three dials are the three hands, I guess, uh, for the for a here's mine right here. They've got the top dial up here for the hours, the center for the minutes, and then down here at the bottom for the seconds. And then this other one I have has like a day night thing over here. And man, I tell you, getting that dial ready to do that is not going to be easy. So I thought, well, I'll make it with I'll do it with some, make it sort of an interesting, fun one to have. Hey, Andreas, what's up? Thank you. What do you think of the Grand Seiko with the spring drive? Oh boy. Listen, I don't want to offend anybody. Let me say this. If I needed a watch that I had to use every day for work and had to be on time, that's the kind of watch I'd probably want. It's a good tool watch in that sense. But the thing that I really like about watch collections are, one, mechanical watches, and the whole thing is it's the unwinding of the mainspring that makes it all work. To me, that's just like as close to magic as you can get. Geezer asked about thoughts about FP Journe only watch for 2019, the astronomics. Oh man, all of those watches, the watch only watches, are just, God, they're beautiful. All of them. I mean, they're as I said at the end of the Maltese Falcons, the stuff that dreams are made of. Okay, so what else do you guys got? Maybe Braemont is owned by a German maybe. Hey, question de tiempo. How you doing, man? Good night, everyone. Good night, Chris. Let's see. From your pilot perspective, which is the most iconic watch in this category? Santos, IWC, Nav Timer. Let me tell you that, Danny. A funny thing happened. This in the last review, I think, or review before last, collection review, I did it of a pilot, and he said other pilots, what they really wear, they'll wear some Chinese knockoff watch. They'll wear a G-Shock. They don't wear things that are old-fashioned looking pilot watches now. So an iconic pilot watch, to me, the best iconic pilot watch is Probably like something like a Rolex Explorer 2. That one I happen to like a lot. With a great big old arrow pointing at to the what amounts to Zulu time, if you can put it to Zulu time. For me, um, the one I use personally, and it's fabulous, is the Parmigiani. They got some other name, but it's called the Hemispheres, and it's just a Ponda. That's it, Ponda Hemispheres. That watch is the thing that's so great about it for dual time is that you can set the places that are set on a half hour offset, like India. And so if you're, in terms of, well, for a pilot, the Zulu time is Greenwich Mean Time. You set it to that, you don't have to worry about that half hour offset. Maybe if you're flying to India. Oh, has a mainspring. Yeah, Alexander, I know that. They do have a mainspring, and the mainspring generates the electrical charge that kicks in a bunch of other stuff. I'm not, it just, what it doesn't, it doesn't drive, I like it to drive a gear train, okay? Yeah, it's like I said, it's the kind of thing, it's probably more practical than the kind of watches I collect. I'm not saying anything is wrong with it, and it's brilliant design. Okay, so I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against it. It's just not the kind of watch I care to collect. Other people love it, and that's cool too. I've got somebody when I'm reviewing a collection. In fact, I think you're going to see one coming up tomorrow. The guy's collection tomorrow I really like. I think you'll like it too. It's got some really cool things in it, and one of the things includes a spring drive, and it was spring drive and an automatic and then another kind. Oh yeah, high beat. Yeah, those. One thing about Seiko's doing some wonderful stuff. The Seiko I like though is the Seiko 5 because it came up with all these innovations all at once and years ago, but they did that. So that's me, Alexander. Don't worry. Love your spring drive. Okay, buy a SKX, get a house in house for $200. Okay, sounds like a Tesla, maybe. Hey, Andreas, do you have any non-Swiss watches? Oh yeah, my Chinese watch. Let me see. What else do I have? I have, one of my favorite watches is my Lang& Hein, which is from Germany. And let me see what else. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have any other ones. Oh, yeah. I've got Harbring 2 from Austria. So, yeah, thanks, Bruce. Yeah, and I've got to get that Seiko 5. You need an old Bulova. I had one. Growing up, I had a Bulova. I love my Bulova. My dad had one too, and my brother ended up with it, Eric. But Bulovas are cool. Old Bulovas, yeah, they're good for old watch collectors. Bulova's got some. Remember a little while ago we had some stuff with. Some guy had all the. Oh yeah, it was the pilot who I think it was a pilot who had the Accutrons, a lot of the Bulova Accutron. And he had one that went into space, part of the Gemini program. I didn't know about. GS is a Tesla. It is spring-driven, completely mechanical. The only thing in modified quartz regulator. Okay. Let's see. Yes, 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 yes. Um, Yeah, no, I got a few non-Swiss watches. Come to think of it, though, most of them are Swiss, and the ones, let me ask you about one. Who was asking about Alexander? You were asking about a spring drive. What do you think of the FP Journe Elegante that is quartz? What do you think of that? Is that something that would go into your collection? Anybody? It's not a very popular watch. In fact, if you want to get an FP Journe, That would be one to get. Things that I like about it, it has a rim and claw in it. That's really what I want. I really want a rim and claw. The trouble is, they're all like really expensive. Um, and the latest one that I've seen that I like a lot is Groenfeld. Boy, that's a God. They have this clean as a whistle watch. Of course, for 10K, not really. Okay, all right, fair enough. I keep my Speedy. Okay, Speedy, what is it? Of course, just doesn't inspire any sense of wonder in me. Yeah, I think that's Speedy. That's probably the way I look at a lot of the stuff that have quartz in it. There's no sense of, my God, how did they do that? Back I used to program, and programming a watch or a clock is nothing. And so I've been going the other way. I've been going back toward Breguet. That's why I've been looking at those Breguet traditions, and watches like that. The watch like Rolf Lang has and Marco Lang, both of them make these just great watches with really superior craftsmanship driving it. FP Joint Tourbillon Remontois d'Elegante is one of my Giza, I like that watch except one thing. I'm not into tourbillons. I don't know why. I've seen them. They're really cool. But the one I want is a Remontois without the tourbillon. That's just me though. The Optimum. There's one in particular I know. Maybe I have a friend with one. I see if I can talk him in and give me a good deal on it someday. Danny, I agree with, and that's something. I have lots of watches in my buy list at the moment. A quartz watch will have to wait unless in a GF. Huh, okay. Hey, Mike, what do you think of the Nord with a modified 2824? Really unique piece of engineering. Yeah, I don't know that watch, Mike. I they've done a lot of things. Resonance has done a lot of things that are really interesting, and they use movements like that. By the way, just wearing a Chronomaster with a fantastic quartz movement, solar powered, perpetual calendar, washi dial, perfect everyday watch. But of course, not so sexy like my dorm booth. I like your dorm booth a lot, Alexander. But the thing is that I don't know. There was an old timey comedian and actor named Will Rogers, and Will Rogers said he never met a man he didn't like. I'm pretty much that way with watches. I've never met one I really didn't like. Uh, yeah, I like them all, but I like them some better than others. People go, how can you not get a Rolex? Well, there's one I want. I want to get that print, but there are other ones that I also want that happen to get. It looks like we just ran out of time. Oh man, I'm way over. There's gonna be a rolling pin coming toward my head pretty soon. Look, guys, thank you all for coming. I really like today. You guys had the best questions and responses I've seen in a long time. So thank you very much for coming. And that the collection tomorrow, I think you're really gonna like a lot. So hope to see you then. Bye now.